Hello YouTubers, here's another little clip of what I've been doing here so far. So after I did the salt away, let it dry for a few days. I've been working the last couple of weeks, haven't had a chance to do much. But the other day I took a little brush and painted, or not painted, but I coated this rear section here of the frame with that coral seal and a brush. And man, what a transformation. It looks like I painted it, but I haven't painted it. It's just the coral seal by itself. And I'm going to paint it on top of that just to give it another coating, more uniform color. But you can tell where the rust on this thing, excuse my shadow there, has been totally converted into that iron phosphate or whatever. You can tell right inside this frame where I was able to get the brush far enough, and yeah, and then back there you can tell, you can see where it's still pretty rusty, but all that's gonna get coated eventually. I'm working on it right now as we speak, as a matter of fact, and that's why I wanted to give you this little update how this is progressing. It's real tedious to do it with a brush, even though you can, but it's better to use a spray kind of application. You do want to mask whatever you don't want to spray on, or get that coral seal on there, even though it doesn't damage any electronics or anything, but it does put a film of sorts on everything, and even gives it this little wet look, kind of. I mean, all this is dry already. I put this on like a few days ago, but it even gives it that wet look, which is kind of cool. And I'm gonna paint it though. I'm gonna paint it like a flat black probably, or a satin black or whatever, or I might even go gloss. But all this is gonna get covered up anyways, so it doesn't matter. This is more just of a protection for the rust. You can tell right here, for example, I was not able to get the brush inside this area of this bumper, so I just did the brush on the outside. But I'm going to show you how all this is going to get coated here in just a second. All this where I can't get the brush in there. So essentially what I did is I put a little tarp or plastic thing down here in case anything drips, and then I went ahead and put the coral seal in that gun, in the gun that I'm going to use for the wool wax, also the final coat after I paint it. And it has those two nozzles that I showed you before. Right now I'm using the one that has the side perforations, and I've been feeding this little tube into all these nooks and crannies inside the frame. I've been moving along on the bottom here, filling in. This is just a wet rag, just so I kind of clean up the drips, because if it drips, that stuff dries up and then you won't be able to take it off. So, but anyway, so I've been coating this stuff in every little area, nook and cranny, where I'm not gonna be able to get the brush in there, and it just sprays it all over like nice, and then after I'm done with all these nooks and crannies, I mean, I've been putting it inside all these holes that are inside the frame, and I started at the front and came this way. I've been putting it in every little area, and then once I'm done with this nozzle, I even ran it in through here, inside this area, and pushed that nozzle all the way in there, and then pulled it out as I sprayed. And yeah, that stuff gets everywhere, like nice. All the inside of this frame assembly here, all this hollow space is all coated now on the inside. Now you just got to do the outside with the other nozzle. The other nozzle is more like just a direct sprayer, and you can coat all this and get it into all these areas that still need to be coated. and then you just kind of spray and coat everything with the other nozzle. Right now I'm just using that one because it has that radius to it, and yeah, it goes sideways, which is really cool. And I'll show you, like right here, for example. Let me bring it this way. Like on this frame part, let me see if I can do this with one hand. So I'm just holding the gun with one hand and then pushing the nozzle like inside this compartment, for example. Hold on. I'll start here. And then I just pull the trigger and pull the nozzle back. You know what I mean? And all the inside of this thing is now sprayed. You know, and I can do it several times if I need to. And then just be generous. Be generous. And just coat the heck out of this thing. See, like right now I just put it inside this frame, and then I'm gonna pull the trigger and pull the gun back slowly, kind of work it back and forth. And as I pull that, you know, with two hands you can kind of hold on to the nozzle and point it in a better direction. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but you get the idea. And you just kind of like put it everywhere and shoot it in there, and you can tell, man, now that thing's coated like nice on the inside. I can maybe try to do it again, which I will with two hands, and kind of wiggle the nozzle as I pull it back. And yeah, it's been working great. I think that's the way to go, because the little brush thing is not going to cut it. Even though I did start off that way, you know, just put a little bit in a can with a brush and then work your brush around everywhere. I kind of did it that way here in the front and just kind of, you know, coated everything. But oh man, it was tedious. My hand hurt after I was done. I think that's when I decided I'm just gonna spray this thing. And yeah, the spray is the way to go, even though you can also do it with other sprays, other bottles or mechanisms. This gun that I have is the best thing for it because of the nozzles. And yeah, it's been great. So I just want to give you that update. That's the way to do it. And then just wear some goggles. And that's pretty much it. And then on some of these holes that I had drilled in here to rinse all the salt away stuff, I'm gonna run that nozzle in through here and just coat the inside of this door. You know, just because this is the area that gets prone to rusting, as you can tell. And this was on the outside, behind this logo that goes here. So I took the logo off, this one, just because that rust area was like right in the corner. So in order to repair, where is it? Oh, there it is. In order to repair this area, I had to take this whole thing off to get behind this logo thing and fix that area. I already sanded it a little bit, so it is going to need some body work. Sand it, put some putty on it, and then spot paint this area like with a high gloss Toyota white, and it should look fine after that. I'm still working on these quarter panels down here, these bottom rockers. I put some Corroseal on there with a brush, and yeah, it converted to rust. Of course, all this is, see how it's all black now, and it's got this coating on it, which is kind of cool. It's paintable. You can actually weld on it if you needed to, but what I'm going to end up doing is just cutting this whole area off, and then replacing this with new metal. But yeah, sort of like right here, you can tell I haven't coated it yet. It's still pretty rusty. All this area here of this fender well. But the areas that I have coated are starting to convert black. And sorry. Creepy crawly here. So, yeah, I've just been getting into all these nooks and crannies inside the frame. I'm trying to do the inside of the frame. All this has been coated already on the inside. And, you know, I'll just have to change nozzles and spray it with the other nozzle. And then all this stuff will be nice and coated and Corrosealed. And then I'll probably still go in there with like a bottle, one of the rattle cans of paint, and just give it some uniformity once it's all dried. I removed the gas tank just so I could get behind it, and you can tell this whole area is like in good shape where the tank goes. I guess the tank protected this area, but the outer edges around the tank were kind of, oh man, yeah, kind of messed up. That's why I removed it, so I could get into all these areas, Corroseal all this. And then the tank itself, I was pretty shot. I didn't want to put that same tank back in here, so I'm getting rid of it, and I'm going to install a newer tank off of another 2006 Land Cruiser that I found. Yeah, so that way it'll have a nice tank, rust free. And right now I'm in the process of just filling in, hitting all those holes, the areas where that nozzle will work. You know, so I can get in here, in all these areas. I went ahead and taped and masked these hoses that are for the tank, all these connections. There's another one right here, just so I wouldn't get Corroseal on them. And it's coming along good. So I'll give you another update as this thing progresses. I'll show you once it's all finished. And oh man, the compressor just went on, so I'll let you guys go. Take care. Hello YouTubers, just want to give you another little update on my Land Cruiser here. It's coming along nice. I'm in the process of coating the undercarriage with the Corroseal. I've used up a whole gallon already, and I went ahead and bought a second gallon just to give it a good coating. It's just a really good product, and I want to make sure everything's coated right. So I'm being generous, shooting it really good. So I bought another gallon just to make sure everything's coated nice. But this right here that you're looking at is a fuel tank. I ordered another one. This is a used tank from a salvage yard. I found it out of California. They shipped it to me, but it's in excellent shape. Then I cleaned it and painted it, coated it with some Rust-Oleum black paint, and it looks fabulous. So it's gonna end up going in the truck. Here's the straps that hold it. It came with everything, all the hardware, hoses, and so forth. I'll show you the old tank here in a minute. But anyway, so right now I'm getting ready to give it another coating underneath. Um, there's a few spots where I didn't get to the last time with 1 gallon, so I'm gonna give it another use up another gallon and make sure this all this area in the middle is coated nice. See, like right there, there's no coral seal yet. But anyway, so that's what I'm getting ready to do. I got my air hose, my Cooper Collie. I'm gonna wear goggles and face mask, and just shoot this other gallon, and just use it all up, and then spray this area in here too. Kind of coat it. I did the brush. I did it with a brush, but I think I need to spray some in there to make sure it gets all the way back in there behind the fender. All the chassis channels have been done already. The inside of all these frames, there's holes throughout. I shot it in there with that nozzle that shoots in every direction. This one right here. This gun has been really great. It's the one that came with the kit for the wool wax. Warehouse9000.com is where I ordered it from. And it comes with these 2 nozzles again, and here's a new gallon of coral seal. I've already filled it. I'm gonna be putting one of these nozzles and just going to town. I also have this airless painter sprayer. I might just put some of that coral seal in there and use that. I haven't tried it yet, but this thing works really good. It's airless and it puts out a good mist, so I might use that in certain areas there just to finish it up and use up the whole gallon. And that's pretty much it. That's where I'm at right now. It's like 10 in the morning, so I'm gonna do that. Let me show you the old tank and how much salt this whole area of the whole truck had it, and it just started eating up at the metal like big time. So that's why I ordered a new tank. I didn't want to put this one back on, so yeah, and the straps were all shot, so this thing's ugly. It's going to the junkyard. Unless somebody wants to buy it, I'll sell it to you or I'll give it to you. Come and get it. But yeah, this tank is like totally messed up. There's an old rack and pinion that came out of it. It's still good, it works, but I don't want to put it back in, so I'll be putting a new one in. There's the old radiator. Got a new radiator that'll go in it. So yeah, I'm gonna start reassembling a lot of this stuff, putting it all back together. Order the tires, put all these shields back on that go under here, and then we can start on the water pump before I put the radiator back in. And then that's pretty much it, man. It'll be ready. There's a new rack over there in the corner. This box has all the bumper stuff for the rear, the bumper stay support brackets, and that's where I'm at. So I just wanted to let you know, give you an update. It's looking good so far. I'll show you what it looks like once it's all done. All right, have a good one.